Hello everyone, welcome back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to display subtitles for a video in a Flutter app. So I will show it for both Android and iOS. Firstly I will show it for Android. So here you can see this is my Android app running. If I click on select video, it tells me to pick video, and I'll just select this particular video. Okay, and you should be able to see the subtitles being displayed for this particular video. So here you can see. So I'm just turning down the volume because it is little bit annoying. So here you can see subtitles are being displayed. Now you might be thinking that from where did I get the subtitles? So there are two ways of getting the subtitles. You can either hard code those subtitles inside your project, as well as there is second way in which you can pass a network URL which will automatically download the subtitle for you and display it. I will show you both the ways when I show you the code. Similar for iOS as well. I will click on select video. So for now I have just hard coded the subtitle inside my project, but for iOS also I will show you how to display a subtitle which is stored on a network URL. Okay, so I'll just pick this particular video. So here you can see the subtitle has been displayed. And so yeah, let's see how to do this. Also there might be one more case that in which the user might select a particular subtitle file from his device. So for that you first have to configure a subtitle picker. So mostly subtitle files are in VTT or SRT. Both Android and iOS supports VTT file directly. They do not support SRT files directly. Again, I will come back to that later on. But if a user selects an SRT file, then you will have to convert it to VTT. Then just like how I'm hard coding these subtitles inside my project and then creating a proper URL out of it, you will have to create a URL of that particular picked file in case if there is this scenario in your application. So anyways, let's get started. So firstly, as you can see, this is my Flutter project and I'm not using any third-party library. Everything is done via native code because that's much easier for me. So here I have just refactored my homepage widget to be a stateful widget. I have created a method channel called select video platform, and here as you can see I have created this text button, and on click of it we are invoking a method called select video, which will now there are different ways of handling video picker, like displaying the actual video, and for Android and iOS. For iOS it displays a completely different screen, like it opens a new screen of AV player view controller, whereas for Android we have to embed it inside our current scene. That's why I'm getting this URL, and once I have that URL I'm just assigning it to our variable, and if this is not equal to empty, then we are displaying this. I'm just using expanded widget. I'm displaying this custom my video view. Now this will be only applicable for Android. For iOS we are just displaying a size box. I have added that particular Android iOS check inside this my video view as well, because for iOS, as I told you, it opens a completely different screen, right? So now if I go to my video view, here you can see I have created this Dart file, and this is the identifier which will help us to identify this native view. It takes a video URL, just like I'm passing you video URL. If you want, you can pass an normal subtitle URL which is stored on a network, or the hard-coded subtitle file name as well. But just to keep simple, I have hard-coded those things on the native side, but you can pass it from here as well. And for iOS you will have to pass it from this side, because we don't have this video view for iOS, right? So here you can pass the data. Okay, so here I have created our init state, and here I have created our creation params as well. Okay, there is one more thing which I will quickly do a refactor for. Okay, so this is the refactor. I have added one key as well. The reason why I have added our key is because I want to update our Android video player view every time you pick a new video. So that here I have initialized that particular key, and here with the help of creation params map we are sending that video URL. Now here as you can see I have created this did update widget. This will help us to update our widget every time the user picks a a new video, so that's why we are using this particular thing. Next, if you see here, I have added the check. If it is Android, then only I'm displaying our Android view. And as you can see over here, we are just passing our key, our video view, as well as our layout direction and creation param codec as well. For iOS it is just a placeholder, because anyways we are displaying our Android our iOS video player inside a new screen. Now what I have done is that I have opened the Android folder inside Android Studio. I'll remove this. Okay, and here firstly you will have to go to settings.gradle, update Kotlin version to 1.9.22. then you will have to go to build.gradle of your app, and here I have updated the mean HDK to 24, and here I have also added few dependencies. This activity KTX as well as fragment KTX is for picking video from a video picker, and this media 3 exo player as well as media 3 UI is for playing the video inside our video player. Next you will have to go to android manifest.xml. so suppose if you are passing a network URL for your subtitle file, you will require internet permission for it. If you are hard coding your subtitle file inside your project, then what I have done is that you will have to just right click, new folder, assets folder, click finish. I have already created this, and it will create an assets folder for you, and here you will have to drag and drop your subtitle file. Now again I am telling you, the subtitle files extension should be .vtt. If it is .srt, then you will have to convert it to .vtt, because neither Android nor iOS supports .srt files out of the box, so it depends. So you will have to write that particular conversion. Okay, this is done. Next I'll go to main activity. So firstly you can copy paste all these imports. Then here I have replaced it with Flutter fragment activity. Here I have created one video picker, so that this is just an helper method for using register for activity result, so that the user can pick one video and we get the video URI back. Once I get it, I am sending it back to Flutter side. Here I have created our method channel result. Here I am registering our native view, so I am using the same identifier which I have used it on the Flutter side. Then I have created a method channel. Here I have created one method called select video platform, and here I have created a select video. So once we call this select video, it basically uses this single video picker launcher, and here as you can see it is filtering only by video, so we only display the video, and the user picks a video, we get it, we send it back to Flutter side. So that's it on the Flutter side. And inside configure we are also registering our native view. So here you can see this is the same identifier we used it on Flutter side, and here we are using creating one separate Kotlin file which I have created, my video view factory. Now this is boilerplate code which you have to write every time you create a native UI Android view for Flutter, so you can just copy paste it if you want to. Next, here I have created this my video view. Again you can just copy paste all these imports, and this is boilerplate code which you have to write. Here I have created one linear layout, created exo player, play when ready is true, current item is 0, playback position is 0, player, this is our player view, and inside get view we are returning our linear layout, inside dispose we are releasing our player, and inside init we are creating our layout params, assigning it to our linear layout. Here we are initializing our player view, adding it to our linear layout, and here we are getting the video URL back from Flutter side, and then we are calling setup player. So here you can see we are creating our exo player, assigning our exo player to our player views player, and then we are creating a media item, passing our set URI, passing in that URL, and here in subtitle configuration we are passing a list of. So as you saw we have so for the first case of hard coding the subtitle file inside your project, so for that we have to get that particular file, right? So here as you can see I have created one helper method called get file from assets. Whatever is your subtitle file name, mine is sample.vtt, that I have passed it over here as well as over here. It basically converts checks our assets folder as you can see over here and converts it to a file and returns back. So that's what I'm doing over here, and here you can see then I'm passing our absolute path. So this is the first way. Now suppose if you are not hard coding your subtitle, you are passing it from a network URL, comment this out, uncomment this out. So URI.parse whatever is your URL, just pass it over here. As you can see, this is my entire URL, which like I have found one sample subtitle file on GitHub. I am using that only. So change the URL to whatever you feel like. Now for the third case, where suppose the user is picking a file from his device, then you will have to write one picker, which will help the user to pick file. And once we have that particular file, then you just have to create the absolute path for it, just like we are doing over here. That's it. Rest of the code remains same. And here you can see the MIME type is text underscore VTT. If I show you here, you can see it does not support SRT, so you will have to convert it by yourself. Language I have set it as English. Set selection flag, I don't know what this is. I've just copy pasted it. And here we are building it. Then we are building our media item, then setting it to our exo player. Play when ready, I have passing our variable. Seek to is current position, which is 0, and preparing our exo player. Here I'm hiding our system UI. You don't have to do this. If you want, you can do this. If you check, we are just hiding everything. Don't do it. I mean, you can just comment it out. If you want, you can do it. And for releasing the player, we are just setting everything to playback position is exo player current position. This is our current media index. Play when ready, it's to whatever is exo player's state, and then releasing our player and making our player equal to null. Okay, also make sure once you do these changes inside settings.gradle and build.gradle, make sure you click on sync now, otherwise you might be seeing a lot of errors. That's it for the Android side. Coming to iOS side, so I have opened the iOS XE workspace inside Xcode. Firstly, inside info.plist, you will have to add photo library usage description permission. Then you also have to update this iOS deployment target to 15, this as well as this one. Then inside app delegate, I have first imported UIKit, photos UI, as well as AVKit. Then we are extending PHP view controller delegate to select photos from the photos app. Then I have created one result, controller, and subtitle URL variable. So as you can see, I have just dragged and dropped my subtitle inside this runner project, but make sure the target membership is checked. So if I show you, make sure this is checked for your subtitle file. You just have to drag and drop. Okay, then here you can see, if you are dragging and dropping your subtitle file inside your project, then you will have to write this bit of code. If you are loading it from network URL, you don't need to write this code. I will show you later on how to do it for network URL, but this should be your file name, this should be your extension. Again, iOS does not support SRT. You will have to do the conversion by yourself and convert SRT to VTT. Then we are creating our controller. Here we are creating our select video platform. Once user calls select video, we are first requesting for photos app permission. So here you can see, and once the permission has been granted, we basically call pick video. If you see pick video, we are launching this. Filtering by videos, multiple selection is false, and here we are just opening PHP controller. So once user selects a video, here you can see this gets called. Okay, so we are overriding this particular thing. I have created one completion handler, which I will come back to in a bit. Once user selects a video, we get the result. Then we basically have to store that video file to a temporary location to completely access it. So that's what this particular code is all about. Even I have copy pasted it, so you can copy paste it as well. Then once that is done, here you can see if there is any error, we are calling our completion handler and sending that error. In case if it is successful, then we are just sending our destination URL. Okay, and this is just an helper debugging thing which I have created. You don't have to create this. If you want, you can just create this as well. Okay, now coming back to our completion handler. So here you can see it dismisses the picker and it calls handle video pick result. Now if I go to handle video pick result method, once we have the URL, then if the URL is proper, then we call add subtitle method, which I have defined over here. Otherwise I'm just printing out the error. Okay, now coming to the add subtitle method, firstly I have to create an AV URL asset. Now suppose you have so now it depends on you whether you have this subtitle URL or whether you are hard coding it inside your project. If you are hard coding it, use this particular code. If not, comment this out and uncomment this, but here you will have to replace it with your own subtitle URL. So choice is yours, use whatever you feel like. Again, suppose for the third case, if the user wants to pick it from his own device, then you will have to firstly write a picker which will help the user to select the file, and then you will have to get the URL for it and just pass it over here. So instead of subtitle URL, it should be whatever URL of the selected file is. Rest everything remains the same. So here we are creating an AV mutable composition, then we are creating a video track, audio track, as well as a subtitle track. Then I'm getting the duration of the video, then I'm inserting the time range for our video track, audio track, as well as subtitle track, and then we just open an AV player, start playing that particular video, and here you can see we are just calling play. So yeah, I think rest everything I have shown you. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.